Storytimers! It's your favorite Storytimer, Annie! And her best pal, E. And today, we're going to be reading another Shakespeare story. Hey, E, can you tell me what it is?
The Taming of the Shrew.
That's right, E. Today's story is called The Taming of the Shrew. A Shakespeare story, retold by Andrew Matthews and illustrated by Tony Ross. The Taming of the Shrew. Now at the cast list, we have Petruchio, Baptista, Lucentio, Tranio, Katharina, Bianca, Hortensio, and Dromio. And the scene is Palda in the 16th century. The Taming of the Shrew. Her name is Katharina Minola, renowned in Palda for her scolding tongue. Hortensio. Baptista Minola was rich and respectable, but his two daughters were the talk of Palda. The younger Bianca was pretty, polite, and modest. Her elder sister, Katharina, was equally pretty, but her character was completely different. Gossips called her the Shrew, a nickname given to any woman with a quick temper and a sharp tongue. As a result, no suitor had asked Baptista's permission to marry Katharina. Bianca, on the other hand, had two suitors, the elderly but wealthy Dromio and young Hortensio. Katharina was jealous of Bianca, and her jealousy made her more bad-tempered than ever. One afternoon, two young men were sightseeing in Palda, happened to pass Baptista's house. One was dressed in colorful clothes. His name was Lucentio, the only son of prosperous Pisan merchant Vincentio. Lucentio had arrived in Palda that morning and planned to study at the university. The other young man was plainly dressed. He was Tranio, Lucentio's servant and close friend. Both men were surprised when a door flew open and Baptista burst into the street, followed by Dromio, Hortensio, Katharina, and Bianca. Baptista looked flustered. "You can't make me change my mind," he said to Dromio and Hortensio. "Bianca won't marry until Katharina has a husband. I don't suppose either of you would consider marrying her." "She's too fiery for me," spluttered Dromio. "Do you fancy taking her on, Hortensio?" "I would rather wrestle with the devil," Hortensio replied. Katharina placed her hands on her hips and glared at her father. "Are you going to let them insult me?" she shrieked. "I hope you're satisfied, Katharina," wailed Bianca. "Father is going to shut me away. I'll probably never marry, and it's all your fault." This outburst was too much for Baptista. "Enough!" he thundered. "Katharina and Bianca, go inside." Bianca burst into tears and fled indoors. Katharina sniffed defiantly and followed her. "You see the problem, gentlemen?" said Baptista. "If Bianca marries before her sister Katharina, will make my life a misery." "Are you really going to shut Bianca away, Baptista?" inquired Hortensio. "I am," said Baptista. "I must hire a schoolmaster and a music teacher to educate her. If either of you hear of someone suitable, please let me know." Baptista returned to his house, shaking his head and muttering to himself. Hortensio and Dromio exchanged cold glances. Then Hortensio sighed. "We have been rivals for Bianca's love," he said, "but perhaps we should join forces and find a husband for Katharina. Once she is married off, Bianca will be free to choose between us." "That's a good idea," agreed Dromio. "But what kind of a fool would want to marry a shrew?" The two suitors walked off together, deep in thought. Tranio laughed out loud at the scene he had just witnessed. "I had no idea that Paula was so lively," he giggled. "Did you notice the expression on the older sister's face?" Lucentio appeared dazed. "I could only see Bianca," he gushed. "Her sweet beauty, her rosy lips. I must woo her." "Oh?" asked Tranio. "You heard her father. He won't let any suitors near Bianca until her sister is married." "I've got it, Tranio!" cried Lucentio. "We're strangers here. Let's change clothes and places. You can pretend to be me and ask permission to be Bianca's suitor. Agree to anything, but make sure Baptista doesn't promise her to anyone else. I'll pretend to be a scholar, take the job as Bianca's teacher, and we'll get to know each other." "And what then?" said Tranio. Lucentio grinned. "And then love will find a way," he said. Hortensio returned home and found an old friend waiting at his front door. "Petruchio!" exclaimed Hortensio. "What brings you here from Verona?" "I'm looking for a wealthy wife," Petruchio revealed. "I don't care what she is like, as long as she is rich." Hortensio wasted no time. He told Petruchio about Katharina and Bianca. Said Petruchio, with a gleam of interest in his eyes. "I know Baptista well. He is a friend of my father, but I have never met his daughters. What is Katharina like?" Hortensio pulled a face. "I won't lie to you. She's the worst shrew in Pata," he confessed. "It'll take more than harsh words to put me off," Petruchio said. "I must see her at once." "Can I beg a favor of you?" pleaded Hortensio. "If I put on shabby clothes, will you recommend me as a music master to teach Baptista's daughters? Then I can woo Bianca in secret while you woo Katharina." Petruchio was about to agree when Dremio appeared with Lucentio, who was wearing Tranio's clothes and carrying a pile of books. "I found a student to tutor Bianca," announced Dremio. "More importantly, my friend Petruchio here is willing to woo Katharina and marry her if her father gives her a large enough dowry," Hortensio said. "Are you certain you want to woo Katharina?" Dremio asked Petruchio. "She's a wildcat." Petruchio thumped his chest. "I faced roaring lions, raging seas, and booming cannon," he bragged. "I'm not afraid of Katharina the Shrew." "Excuse me," said a voice. "Does anyone know where Bianca Minola lives?" Everyone turned and saw Tranio dressed in Lucentio's finery. Lucentio winked slyly at his friend. "Who are you, and what is your business with Bianca?" demanded Hortensio. "I am Lucentio, and I wish to woo her," Tranio lied smoothly. Dremio turned red with rage. "Bianca is my chosen love," he cried. "Mine too," added Hortensio. "Gentlemen," Petruchio said grandly, "you seem to forget that Bianca won't marry anyone unless I marry Katharina. Your future happiness is in my hands." Not long afterward, Baptista received Dremio, Petruchio, Tranio, who was passing himself as Lucentio, and the two so-called scholars. After introductions had been made, Baptista sent the tutors away to begin teaching his daughters. Then Petruchio spoke boldly. "You know my father, Baptista, so you know the kind of fellow I am. If I marry your daughter, Katharina, what will her dowry be?" 20,000 crowns and half my lands when I die," Baptista replied. "Excellent," said Petruchio. "The matter is settled." Baptista smiled ruefully. "Getting Katharina to agree to the marriage might be more difficult than you think," he warned. I'll be more than a match for her, Patricio assured him. I am the breeze that will cool her hot temper. Can I discuss Bianca's future with you now, Baptista? Ventured Dromio. And I, broke in Trenia. I am a newcomer to Polda, but I have already heard of Bianca's grace and beauty. I ask your permission to woo her, once Katharina is married. Before Baptista could answer, Hortensio staggered in with his head sticking out of a broken lute. What happened to you? Gasped Baptista. Katharina, Hortensio groaned. When I told her she played badly, she called me a rascal and smashed this lute over my head. He wandered off unsteadily. She's a lively one, chuckled Patricia. I'm longing to meet her. I'll send her to you, said Baptista. The two gentlemen and I have things to talk over. He led Dromio and Tranio into his study. Once he was alone, Patricio paced up and down. I must confuse her with my wooing, he told himself. Whatever she says, I'll say the opposite, until she's so mixed up that she won't even notice I've married her. And that, my friends, is the end of part 1 of The Taming of the Shrew. Tune in next time for part 2. And also, tune in next time for more awesome adventures with Anytime Storytime and her best pal, E. Goodbye, guys.